We should rate the NASCAR on Fox season because I'm intrigued to see what you guys think.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah.
So we just separate it
Okay.
between
right.
broadcasting and production because they are two. I think they're two separate things.
I think so too. I'm with you.
But I do know that the people in the broadcast can have some say in the production if they speak up. You know, I heard Clint throw his pen a few times this year. Stay with me, stay with me.
Camera change.
And he just throws the pen.
6-year-old kid.
But I guess I'll go first.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I think the broadcasting, I'll give it a B-. I felt like some combos throughout the year. I thought the Tony, Mike Joy, and Clint combo was so fun to listen to.
Yeah, I agree.
Jamie, Clint, and Mike, I thought that was a good combo to listen to. Hearing a little bit of Larry Mack in the booth at Wilkesboro was cool. But some things that were kind of tough. I think Clint needs to be around people he's comfortable with. Because when there were some people in the booth that felt like he was either both of them were trying to one up each other, or when they would talk about a situation, like when I heard him talk about Denny's wreck with Jamie McMurray in the booth, it was very like conversational. When him and Kurt Busch were talking at Kansas, it was like, well, he's doing this and he's doing that, and they just keep going back and forth trying to one up each other. Not that they mean to. I just think it's just who they are.
And Kurt is, so I mean, 100%. He's a Joe Gibbs 23XI.
Oh yeah. So he's either maybe trying to defend.
They're kind of opposites there.
Yeah, but he was very comfortable with Tony because that was
Tony,
his old
boss.
And then Jamie just.
Danica, I think we can all agree Danica should never go back into
I forgot she
ever
was
again.
one of the announcers. Yeah, well, that was terrible. But
I guarantee you, I could hear the frustration in Clint's voice the whole time she was in there with him.
Oh. I know.
Well, she doesn't know anything.
Well,
like,
Danica,
she knows
that's
nothing
one way
about
we
the
could
sport.
do it. How I would do it, though, is I'd do this. Like everything she said.
Yeah.
Well, that was stupid. So here's how I would do it.
Yeah, I applaud Fox trying something, but I think what we learned was I think Tony could be a great announcer. If
He's incredible.
Yeah,
I think we need to stick with 4 drivers. If you're going to put a female in there, put Haley Deegan in the booth.
Please.
Yeah. Yeah, she could be up there.
Well, and Haley knows her stuff. Like, but it was amazing the amount of dumb things that came out of Danica Patrick's mouth.
Yeah.
It was
like shocking. So, what do you grade production?
Production probably D+. It was pretty bad. Like just as far as like I don't usually tune in the pre-race because it's usually stupid, but I gave it another shot the last 2 races of the season, and it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. Everything felt fake at the fake headquarters. You know, like I put it back at the track.
Yeah.
Give it some kind of energy, college game day energy.
Yeah.
Hire Kenny
leave the
Wallace.
green screen room behind.
Yeah, I mean, it's
think it
okay
just
for
works.
Race Hub. I get that, but just
Right.
or maybe you could have it once in a while, maybe for the trucks or something. But for the Cup race, you want to have the energy factor. And it wasn't worth tuning in for me. So
No, that's fair. I get it. What do you think, David? How would you grade? I'm sorry. How would you grade Fox production and commentating?
I'd say it was average all around. Just a C.
Yeah, I mean that's fair.
I like Clint a lot. I'm not a fan of his broadcasting personally.
yeah,
For that reason right there. Like, and when I say that, it's very hard to be a good broadcaster. You have to be able to talk and have a producer talking to you and this and that and this and that.
Oh, it's a full. I get it. I mean,
Yeah,
there's
like
a
I'm
lot
not
happening.
talking down on anybody who's doing this because it is a very, very hard job. But he just gets caught up too much. Like Mike Joy, and it doesn't help that he's beside Mike Joy, who's like the best.
he can learn off of Mike. I mean, you have to think about it. This is Clint's third year doing it.
Something like that.
Because he did with
It might be third.
Jeff.
He did it with Jeff.
He
at
did
least
do it with
1
Jeff.
2
That's
years.
And
true.
he did not work well with Jeff. That was very tough to listen to.
Well, you talk about bias. The Jeff Gordon bias was so. I mean, it wasn't even close.
Yeah.
Like it was so heavy, and it was like, dude, just bail.
Yeah, I think for Clint, it just really depends who's with him. So I think him and Harvick, since they were former teammates, hopefully there's.
Yeah, I think there's that SHR combo. Yeah,
I think next year might be better.
If they're smart next year, they'll have Harvick, Boyer, and Stewart together, and that'll be the best broadcast team ever.
Yeah,
That would be freaking hilarious.
I think Stewart he already said that they're not signing him to go back at all next year. He lost the job.
Yeah, he's not doing it next year.
Well, they should reevaluate that. Still time.
He
Now-
said, I'm real happy for Kevin, but he kind of got me fired.
Oh, well.
Oh, yeah, you pushed him out. Because you can, I mean, 3 in the booth is fine. You don't need to have 4 up there.
That's true, because I assume Mike Joy will be there. Like, you kind of have to have a Mike Joy.
Something I was thinking about would be really cool to do for NASCAR, and is kind of do what ESPN does for Monday Night Football, where you have the broadcast, and then you have, like, you go to ESPN2, and you're in Peyton Manning's basement with him and Eli, and they're just watching the game talking.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's something you could do going to Tony Stewart's house.
Oh, you can have like a special...
And just have a second, like, because they did it for Monday Night Football. I don't know if you know this or not.
Yeah, I watched it.
Yeah, you can watch either ESPN1 for the game.
Yep.
Or ESPN2 for the game without the commentators. So
How did I have no idea that existed? That's actually really cool.
Yeah, especially because I hate Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. So, like,
which I get.
I would much rather listen to the Manning boys.
Yeah.
And then they would every quarter they'd interview somebody like LeBron or this or that or whoever. That's what I preferred to watch.
And then Thursday night, Amazon had like Dude Perfect commentate.
Yeah,
like they did fun
like just lots of good things. I think that's where we need to get to, where it's like people we want to see, and we want to see them just relaxed. And it was great because it didn't, like, how hard is it? They the same exact feed, as the game or as the race.
Yeah,
and you just copy it over to them, and then a different production team that cuts between their 3 cameras or 2 cameras.
Yeah. I mean, we're doing it in a 10x10 space for free. So
yeah, I think they can figure it out.
It's not that hard. No, it really isn't. I'm kind of in alignment with Mitch. I think the commentating overall was pretty good. I kind of like the B range. I think it was more good than bad, so I would favor B+ or A- on the commentating. I really didn't have a lot of beefs. I thought Danica was kind of an embarrassment again, but that's normal. But, dude, production was just, I mean, abysmal. Like, every week was like, hold my beer, because I would want to be positive and like being like, all right, here it is. But it was like, I swear, every week production would find something new, stupid. Yeah. Sorry. No, hold it. You don't have to drink it. You're just holding it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Hold my sun drop. There you go.
Dale, yeah.
But production was bad. I mean, I hate to give it an F, but I'll be generous and give it D- so that it's not failing. But
it made me want to apply.
Yeah,
I was like, man, I could help him out.
Here what?
I was like, dang.
No, I think for you. I think before next year, Fox has so much to figure out on the production side, because it's so the worst part was the races that were at like half-mile tracks. So we're talking like Williams Grove, Babs Motor Speedway, like not big facilities, and accidents are happening that we never see replays for. And then people are like tweeting videos from their iPhone 8 from the grandstands that we see the accident. That's an embarrassment. Like, that's where people should get fired, because Flow Racing shows up at these dirt tracks with 2 cameras and manages to capture everything. There is zero excuse for this Fox production, which is making a lot more money. And they do it in the same way.
They have a producer talking in your ear.
Yep.
I didn't work for Flow, but I worked for Speed Sport and that Pit Row, which they kind of conjunction with Flow. But you had a producer. You had about 3 cameras. A turn. One guy was out in the turn. One was in the infield. I was on top of a roof for like the main camera, and then I had another guy following the leader. So you had like 4 different cameras, but they were like $900 cameras. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not like big TV production cameras, but because you had fiber.
That camera and this camera, but not that camera. That one's not $900.
No.
But everybody had a duty, and we were able to capture any kind of wreck, because someone in the producer, not only the producer was telling them what to do, but there was another guy next to the producer watching everything.
Sure.
Saying, hey, wreck here. Or the producer.
And I just did that for the fact to say that how easy it is to follow cues, because Alex didn't know I was going to do that. But all I did was point to one, and then the other, and then the other, and hit the cameras followed.
Like, it's
so like, if we're talking about, I don't know, a battle for 8th. Right?
Yeah.
And it's been heating up for like 4 laps, and we've been watching it for 4 laps. And then you clearly see the driver tuck in and pop a nose in there.
Yeah.
That means he's going to pass.
Yeah.
It's like...
And then that's when they cut the camera away.
And immediately cut to another car or a commercial.
Oh, the commercials.
You have flex commercials.
Yeah.
They got to be within a gap.
Yeah.
Don't use them. There is a lot of really bad racing going on. Have commercials then.
Right. Yeah.
Like everything's settled
like,
down.
I don't even
now.
get upset. Like it bugs you whenever something happens during a commercial.
Yeah.
But it's like, they can't know that.
No. And that's why I want to be fair.
And side by side is great. Like they get a lot of side by side. That's great. This is that, this, that. But there's a lot of just like, and it's minimal errors, like you said. So I probably could up it from a C. But as you get to a higher standard, the more the smaller the mistakes are, the bigger they are. Okay, we're cutting the camera a second too early. Well, on live television, that's huge.
Yeah.
That's not a minor mistake. You're paid to be perfect.
Yeah.
And
Put on a perfect production. That's your job.
And my grace period is even willing to cover live cuts being off. Like I don't even mind that as much because I know like that's gonna happen. But
you have coverage for everything at least.
Yeah, like you at least can show a replay. Like that's
there's
the big
not a
thing.
big camera that covering the whole track that you can't zoom in on somewhere.
Something, anything.
They even have a Goodyear blimp floating around, man. Like,
Yeah.
you got a camera